Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I am going live. That's right, there is going to be some livitude right here, liveliness, if you will, on the channel as I log in on the iPad so that I can see what is going on in the chat here. So one thing I want to start off with is something that is very frightening to me and a little bit sad, and that is the fact that there is a pretty good chance that the National Institute of Standards and Technologies here in the US of A is going to shut down the radio station that actually provides us with the atomic time signal that watches like the Casio Oceanus or other radio-controlled watches are powered by. And that's really unfortunate, honestly, because, well, we use those things. And if that does happen, that's part of the current federal budget. If that does happen, then all of those watches will immediately cease to work. Well, they'll work just fine. They just will be quartz watches. But more importantly, they're going to be quartz watches with a major problem. Because very often good quartz isn't designed to deal with that. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. And hopefully it's not the real thing. But I'm hearing a great deal of talk about that. And if that happens, there are a lot of folks who bought a lot of nice watches that are going to be a whole lot less nice than that. And that's kind of reinforces one of the nice things about something that's good old-fashioned, if you will. Whether it's a mechanical wristwatch like this little guy right here, through the Pelagos, or otherwise, there's nothing really that's going to affect it so much. Yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully this is just kind of political grandstanding and theater, but unfortunately, yeah, politics, it's a charming world out there. So today I just figured I was going to go live and do a little bit of an Ask the Nick session, and my blinds going crazy because there's actually wind. Holy crap, guys. Doing my best. So yeah, one other thing. Hold on, let me shut that other freaking set of blinds. See if I can avoid the problem. Bright side, that breeze sounds great. So anyways, there it is. And the other thing that a lot of people have been asking me is, am I still going to do live streams? Yeah, absolutely. It's still something that brings me a great deal of joy. And so, yeah, that's what's going on there. What questions do you all have? I have my entire knife collection here with me. I've got my watch collection close at hand. And, I'm very curious to hear what all I can answer for you guys. Okay, Master Higgins says, hey, Nick, got any recommendations for a rewarding high-end knife to save up for over a long time? Master Higgins, that's a really nice approach. Honestly, to me, I would say the thing that you should think about most there is what is most appealing to you. Because if I were to give you an option, for instance, you could do like a Millet Torrent or something like that. That's a really nice high-end knife, although it's not as expensive as some of them are out there. Or Grimsmo Norseman, Chris Reeve Nandi, he says just pulling out random higher-end knives, 8015 from the Demkos. I mean, there are lots of really high-end pieces out there that are really nice, but the thing that's going to motivate you most, that's going to feel most rewarding, is the one you pick up and you pick out yourself, because ultimately, I would say the best thing to do is to spend the next however long you're saving looking, reading, waiting, trying to figure out, watching reviews, watching and listening, coming up with your own damn opinions, going to local stores who might have something like that. That's going to be what allows you to find things, and honestly, in some ways, that's the best part of it. We always talk about, oh my God, waiting for shipment, oh, that's the best part, but no, really, the hunt, the thrill is of the hunt for many people, and once you actually get it, it can be anticlimactic, it can be problematic even. So, especially if it's something disappoints you. So that's where I would go, is I would look and figure out what's bringing you the most joy and take it from there. Next thing, by the way, everybody, thank you so much for everybody who's asking questions. I'm sorry, I'm not going to necessarily be able to get to every question. If you do like the super chat thing, that makes it a little more prominent, but you don't have to do that. That's a whole separate affair. But, yeah, that's a thing. Let's see here. Kyle and Mattinson asks, in your opinion, what knife has the best flipper action for at or under $100? That's getting real tough these days, because honestly, there are a lot of good budget makers out there who are really focusing on flipping action. So one of them is Ruiki, or Rake, or whatever they are. These folks here. And you're actually getting really, really good flipping action out of these guys for a budgety price. You're not getting like super fall shutty. The Ontario Carter Prime had it dialed in for a while there, but and they still do. But there were other options. The Roike Hussar, Hussar, is a really nice piece. But they're doing really good work in terms of low-end flipper, low-end price, that is, flipper actions. So that's kind of where I would send you there. Yeah, good question there. Let's see here. What do we got? Trying to get my iPad so it doesn't fall over, because that's kind of a good thing, not falling over as you're using your iPad. There we go. Beautiful. Honey badger knives. Somebody just asked about honey badger knives. I actually have a review coming of one of the honey badger knives coming up here soon. Is it around? No, it is not around. It was given to me by Frankie and Bird. They have very nice flipping actions, but honestly, they're not all that much better or worse than some of your other options out there. The Rowikis, etc. I mean, they're fine, but they're not like, oh my God, incredible, in the same sense that everybody else is. People are asking me, hey, Nick, are you going to be at the Custom Knife Show in New York City? No, probably not. There's a very, very low chance that I'm going to be able to make it to any given show. California Custom Knife Show, I'm really hoping to be able to make it up there too, because it's like an hour away from me. I can jet up there on a weekend, and that can be fine. But if I'm thinking like New York Knife Show, heck, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to make Blade next year. We'll see. I'm going to do my best. But, yeah, that's absolutely a thing. And so, you know, that's, here, I'll throw something entertaining on the table here. Your chaparral here. But anyways, so there's a really low chance that I'm going to be able to meet any one show, especially if it's far away from where I am now, over in the San Diego. So, there you go. Let's see here. Is the Prometheus Wrights titanium pen still my favorite? Actually, I would say no. At this point in time, my favorite pens are, there's this little guy right here. This guy's been getting a lot of pocket time lately. This is the Machine Era original guy. A pen so nice I bought it twice. Left it at the freaking post office. But it's a really nice little piece. It uses a G2 cartridge or a Pilot, or I'm sorry, a Mont Blanc, if you want to hack it a little bit. In terms of titanium pens, there is this little guy right here. This is the Tie Scribe Bolt, the Urban Survival Gear Tie Scribe Bolt. And then there is the Parker Jotter right here. I should have just grabbed all my pens rather than walking across the room repeatedly. Parker Jotter is a really great budget option. And then here is the, this little guy is the Twisby Eco, which is a really inexpensive fountain pen sort of thing. Very, very nice. So, anyways, there you go. These are kind of my options for pens, generally speaking. This is, though, the one that ended up beating out the Prometheus Alpha. When I got this guy, it was just like, yeah, I like this better. And so the Prometheus ended up getting sold. But that's, you know, a fact of life, unfortunately. You know, or fortunately. You know, I'm always looking for upgrades, looking for better. And what used to be, I mean, it's the Prometheus Alpha is still a gem, but, you know, honestly, there are many kinds of gems out there in the world. So there you go. Any issues with the Tie Scribe opening in the pocket? No, I haven't had any of that. The big reason for that is that the clip itself is that. And so in order for this to open, what you would have to do is pull basically, if the clip is clipped in your pocket, and you pull it up, you would have to pull the pen up and then rotate it. Here we go. Pull, rotate, and then let it go. Then it's going to open in the pocket. But this isn't really a design that lends itself to that particular issue. So there you go. Let's see here. What do we got? Eric Johnson says, I really love your Alambic Busker with Time Maskers. How much is that one? I'm interested. That one was, I want to say, $5.95. Watch my full review. But the best way to do that is just to contact Alambic and just say, hey, I want what Nick Shabazz had, and they'll hook you up. They'll let you know what's going on there. I don't know what their prices may have increased. My Alambic Busker, my new Alambic Busker, is still in progress over at Alambic. They are working on that guy, because honestly, I told them, in all sincerity, that I am their least important customer right now. What I mean by that is that I have a bunch of freaking knives. Like right here in my bedside drawer, so to speak, I have a bunch of really nice pieces. And so I am not hurting for knives. And I always have more stuff to carry, more stuff to look at. And so practically speaking, if a knife maker like Alambic or something like that has a bunch of new customers who this may be their very first Alambic, this may be something that's, you know, brand new to them. Do I have, oh, I don't have any Alambics on me at the moment. But if they have something that's just like absolutely brand freaking new, that's coming in and then they're super excited about, honestly, I'd rather that person get it first. I'm less important than that in terms of my overall, you know, desires. I can wait with very little trouble there. So, yeah, there we go. Let's see here. Any Mini Crooked River questions? Yeah, Mini Crooked River review is going to be coming before too long. I should post that soonish. Nice piece. Absolutely a very nice piece. And frankly, it's the Crooked River that should have been the regular Crooked River. The other one should have been the freaking huge Crooked River. As I wasn't a big fan of the original. But, yeah, there you go. So there you go, some nice pieces here. Let's see here. Adam Green says he likes turtles. Adam, turtles are very likable. I'll give you that any day of the week. Do you think, Nick is asking me, hey, Nick, do you think, hey, other Nick, do you think the Holt Spectre adjustable detent is solid? Yeah, I think so. The thing I like about it is that it fails to safe. What I mean by that is that it's got a little screw in there, and what the screw is actually doing is lightening the detent. And if the screw were to back itself out, which is a possibility potentially with any screw, what would happen is that the detent would be very hard. It's still actually usable, but it's very hard. And so the fact that it's not like if this comes unscrewed, then the knife becomes flopping around in your pocket, dangerous, no detent, then, you know, it's a good thing that it's not built like that. That's a nice thing. So, yeah, there we go. A whole bunch of people are telling me what they like. Good, great, bad, and ugly. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Say water for a quarter. Yeah, here's water. I don't have a quarter handy. Standard U.S. penny. There you go. That's some. Oh, good God. So, when I moved to California, everything got really freaking expensive. Take some water there. This is a simple fact of life. Do not get into Southern California because everything's, or Northern California for that matter, because everything's freaking expensive here. And as a result, we moved into an apartment complex, and the apartment complex is a little bit one person on top of the other. And unfortunately, a majority of our neighbors seem to have young children who will at an instant turn into ring wraiths. So you may be hearing shrieking, much like Frodo is being chased down our block. Yeah, it's just a little ring wraiths. Thank you, Jack Tansen, who just called to say he loves me. Oh, I love you too in that platonic reviewer-to-viewer sense. Very, very kind. Thank you. Hey, Staza23. So Staza23 just came in and said, hey, what up, Nick? He's another gear reviewer. You should check his work out. He's doing a lot of good stuff, and he and I have been talking a little bit, I believe, about... unless I'm mixing them up with somebody else, in which case, my bad, but about doing some charitable work, and that's a beautiful thing. So, there you go. Hey, Gracie Views, good to see you. Hey, Frankie, good to see you. Let's see here. Frank Andre Holmestrand is asking me, hey, Nick, just one question. Have you ever owned a firearm? Frank, the thing is, firearms are not a central part of this channel. It's not something that I'm particularly, like, I don't have a passion for firearms. People have asked me this a number of times, and it's just like, they're a tool, certainly, but it's not a tool that I particularly need in my life, thank God. And so you're not ever going to see a whole bunch of firearms kind of content on the channel here. That's a whole different thing. Gavin Reddick says, let's see, he is asking, hey, Gavin, my opinion on KPL. KPL. I bet he means Knife Pivot Lube. So Knife Pivot Lube is a new company that has been doing a really, really good social media marketing campaign. What I mean by that is that they've sent out little bottles of this stuff to pretty damn much everybody. And a bunch of people have been trying it, and actually myself included. I did a little bit of a test the other day where I just went through and I re-lubricated a bunch of my pocket knives using it. So the Grimsmo Norseman is currently running on Knife Pivot Lube. Who else? The Millet Torrent I cleaned out and ran on the KPL. That's cool, I guess. But my opinion so far is that it's fine. I have very little complaint with it. Also the Rat 2, which is currently holding up the iPad. So I have absolutely no problem with it. It seems to work about as well as the 10-weight nano oil in situations where the 10-weight nano oil is called for. And I think it may be a little bit cheaper. I'm not 100% sure, but that's a nice thing if it is. So that's, so far my basic opinion is it seems good to go. But I'm going to need to spend a lot more time with it before I decide I might change that, and you know, yeah, it's a thing. One thing I will say, one advantage that the nano oil will always have, and that I actually talked to the Knife Pivot Lube people about, is multiple weights. Because right now you can get the nano oil in your 5, your 10, or your 85 weight. The 5 weight being a very good penetrating oil, and the 85 being really nice for sort of high, it's almost greasier. And so I'd like to see KPL offer something in multiple weights, but, you know, we'll see. But so far, seems fine. No major complaints there. Mega Man 3082 asks, hey, Nick, with the new format, is there any more review? Sorry, is there any room for more reviews from my buddy Phil? Well, you know, of course, now that I've moved, he's no longer my neighbor, but I might be able to chalk him back onto the channel here one of these days. Because after all, there are some beautiful things that he needs to review one of these days. Oh, where is that thing? Come here. Terrible freaking knife, you. Oh, that's right. We have right here. I think Phil would like this one, right? A little bit of carumbit or carpet knife, whatever. By the way, button lock that only locks the knife closed, but doesn't lock it open. Novelty, right? Anyways, so that kind of thing may happen there in the future, and I appreciate you. He'll be happy to know that you are talking to him. So yeah, let's see here. What do we got? Any plans to review the Lion Steel Rock with its retractable pocket clip? Maybe down the road. Lion Steel is a company that, personally, in my estimation, a lot of their stuff can be nice, but they tend to do really thick grinds. They tend to do really thick knives, and retractable pocket clips are kind of a double-edged sword. And they can be nice in that the ergonomics are great if you're using the knife for hours and hours. But they also can make it it's another step as you add the knife back into your pocket. And if it's a point of friction, thanks, Adam. If it's a point of friction, it can be something that's a little less ideal. So I'd have to be, I'd really have to check to see whether that's worth a damn. The only knife I've ever handled with a retractable pocket clip was a Microtech Marfione Sigil, which there was a major problem because it didn't have enough tension. But yeah, that's a thing. Let's see here. How do you decide? Bambi Simba asks, got a Disney fan in the house. How do you decide which weight of oil or grease to use on a knife? That's a great question. Practically speaking, there's not really there's not a perfect answer because I have a bunch of different solutions for lubrication. I actually have a video on high-end knife lubrication that goes deeper into it, but I use grease. In this case, it's nano grease, but there are a bunch of other greases out there. In situations where the knife really needs, very often on knives that are meant to have like a Shabazz-ish action, that's the route I'll go. But I use thicker grease for slower actions. Like, for instance, what's a slow action? Here we go, the Spidey Chef. This is not a knife that ever needs to be like, oh my god, fast, clicky, power, free spin and dropper. Free spin and dropper? Free drop and spinner. Something like that, whatever it is. I'll use grease on those more often. Another one I use grease on are automatics, like this little guy, Protect Sprint. This guy is running on a much heavier weight oil. But practically speaking, for a lot of situations, although a knife like a Shabazz that's running on washes and is really a slow, glassy action, is never going to run quite as well on bearings. I'm sorry, on a thinner oil as it will on a thicker oil or a grease. But it's a thing. Practically speaking, Super Steel Steve asked, then why does every production knife company use oil? Well, two reasons. A, because it's good enough, and B, because it's probably cheaper. All of these things, all of the higher-end lubrication things I talk about on the channel are, practically speaking, just gilding the lily. They're just kind of improving the performance just a little tiny bit. So when I talk about the difference between, for instance, your the knife pivot lube, your nano oil, your Daiwa real oil, I think it's Daiwa, diarrhea, something like that, either way. When you talk about these guys, or just like 3-in-1, or some of your other, a lot of folks swear by the Firearms lubricants, the, what is it, ballistols and such. But practically speaking, the difference among those in terms of action is very small. And the difference between a great knife and a bad knife is going to be a much bigger difference. So there you go. What do we got here? Let's see here. How often do you take your knives apart for oiling and maintenance? Actually, surprisingly seldom. I don't carry one knife all the time for a long period of time. Like, very seldom does a knife get, especially one in my own collection, get a whole bunch of pocket time and get to the point where it's dirty and grody and whatnot. Generally, I'll do it when the knife has trouble. The thing is, though, I'm weird. I do a bunch of, thank you very much there, Frank. I do a bunch of really interesting reviews on a regular basis that has me taking the knives apart immediately. But when a knife ships to you, generally you don't need to take it apart. And in fact, that's one thing makers have commented on, is that apparently my channel has resulted in a noted uptick of people buying a knife and then day one trying to take it apart. And, that's not necessarily a great idea. If you're good at taking knives apart, sure, you can maybe tune the action a little tiny bit, although it really depends on the maker. A company like Olamic ships them right, by and large. But some knives, could use a little extra love. But really, you don't need to do that. I do that because that's a part of my reviewing. Any knife that comes across my table that I can take apart, I generally will. But yeah, so that's kind of an important thing. And so you don't need to always take it apart. And some knives you never have to. For instance, I've got this little guy on my table now. Actually, I could have sworn I saw the maker in there, SK Blades. That's this little guy right here. This right here is a buck knife that's been sort of built to spec by SK Blades. It's a really, really nice little piece here with a CPM 154 blade. And it's honestly, there's a lot to love about this guy. And so I'm a big, big fan of that. But this is a knife that cannot be taken apart. You can see here the pivot is just built into it. And so that's kind of, for this, you're never going to do that. All you're going to do is at a certain point, and I'll just show you here because why not, you just take a little bit of lubrication of whatever variety you like, and you drop it into that little area here, and then open it up. Bam, there you go. So this is, and by the way, this is probably going to be in my pocket for review all this coming week here. Yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of it over on Instagram and whatnot. So, yeah, sometimes you never need to take the knife apart, and that gets away just fine. Let's see here. Eric Johnson, hey, Nick, can I buy you Sleesh Bowie for, what's that number? $99 million. Well, I'm sorry, $99 million, $999,099. Yes, as a matter of fact, if you'd like to pay me $99 million, this Sleesh Bowie is 100% for sale for $99 million. This is a great knife, but you know what? I would much rather be able to live in Southern California. So, yeah, just shoot me a message. I'll get you my PayPal information. Although, at that point, it's probably some kind of a bank wire transfer and there are tax consequences. Either way, we'll work through it for $99 million. So, yeah, that's very nice. Okay, Steve Rasmussen, hey Steve, asks, with the tungsten carbide knife that Pete Colligan over at Cedric A Gear and Outdoors just tested, are we entering the age of non-steel, non-traditional stainless knives? Steve, maybe. That's an interesting piece. And I think the idea of a tungsten carbide blade, if they've done things right, could be really compelling for some people in some areas and industries. Like if you are in a job situation where you are constantly dulling blades, there are some benefits there, but the problem with a knife like that is that you have trouble sharpening it. We have ways that people can use knives of conventional steels and keep them sharp. And, sorry, Batman mask fell over. But, yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting, and I'd sure like to see more experimentation like that, but I don't think that's going to be the only way to go from here. Let's see here. Mr. Dudes Productions asks if I'm going to play the Green Goblin in the next Spider-Man movie. I think I could pull that off. Sure. Casting agents, give me a holler. Let's see here. What are we doing here? Isaac Albanante asks, my opinion on movement watches, MVMT, or Vincero watches, or any of those kinds of... You'll see them very often in unscrupulous YouTube channels being hawked there. What they are very, very cheap watches that are made by Chinese factories and then branded according to a company name. Frederico Talks Watches, a nice watch channel, by the way, has a whole video on movement, Vincero, etc., that talks all about them. Practically speaking, you are not getting very good quality out of them, and everyone I've handled has really failed to impress me, or at least in my estimation, you're not getting very good quality. So I would check Fed's video out, because that'll get you better information from here. Let's see here. Looking forward to the best 5 knives for under $99 million. For $99 million, there's actually a reasonable chance that you could buy all of the knives. Like, quite literally, even with everything that We Knives has put out this week, which is the same as they put out every week, there's a pretty good chance that you could buy pretty much every knife on the Instagram knife market right now for $99 million. And so the best 5 knives for $99 million recommendation would be to go and buy all of the knives, and then among those, the best 5 will necessarily be there. So there you go. Mr. Ruination asks, Nick, should I buy a Swatch? My criteria is that it tells time. Swatch watches, the System 41, whatever, the budget mechanical watches that are made to be disposable. You can certainly do that, but the thing is, for less money, you could get something like the Casio F91WF, or even this little guy right here I've got on the table for review. It's a tough solar thing. It's like 20 or 30 bucks, I think, and it's really good. Practically speaking, this is a very nice watch. It's definitely plastic. It's definitely got some downsides to it. But you know what? There's a lot to love here, and this is going to keep better time than your little swatchy guy, and frankly has some benefits. So consider that. What else? Bunch of people are arguing all kinds of things. Ay, ay, ay. Any interested in smaller fixed blade reviews? David Apple says, I'm considering a Chris Reeve Niala, and I'm interested to hear your take. So, no, I'm not going to do any small fixed blade reviews because they don't work well for me in my life. Hey, Keith. They are just not incredible, at least for everyday carry. Because honestly, I am a person, as many have intuited, that carries a knife more often than I'm using a knife. And fixed blades tend to demand to be used, and they tend to be bulkier, etc. I have a whole video on everyday carry fixed blades that I talk about that in more detail. The Chris Reeve Nyala, though, is a nice knife. I have handled them, and if I were going to own small fixed blades, that would be one I would consider. So yeah. Let's see here. What do we got here? Do I still own the Grimsmo Rask? I do not. At this point in time, I do not own a Rask just because I was given a very good offer from a very good friend, and frankly, I've got a Holt Spectre on the way that I think is going to outclass it a little bit, so that's a thing. What do we got here? How do I feel about Invicta watches? Honestly, they're okay. I guess, maybe. I have a video coming up of an Invicta Quartz Submariner homage. Not a very good watch, that's for damn sure. Honestly, as long as you're paying very, very little money, then sure, why not have an Invicta? But there are better watches you can get for the money, that's for damn sure. Let's see here. How do I feel about Apple Watch? I'm actually contemplating picking up one of the 4th generation Apple Watches just to see how it is these days. This is a watch reviewer. That seems like something I should do. I actually owned a very 1st generation Apple Watch. It's a nice thing, but it's honestly not a great watch, and it wasn't a great computer. And as a result, it didn't make a lot of sense for me. I think I do prefer a quartz watch. Well, Apple Watches have a quartz watch in them. But I think I prefer a good old-fashioned watch that you can wear overnight, for instance. That's a nice thing. But yeah, let's see here. Any bad cuts ever, asks Eric Johnson. Why, yes, as a matter of fact, I have had bad cuts. You may have seen recently a review or two come out with this finger wrap. This was the result of I sharpened up my kitchen knives, and they got a little sharper than I expected. Practically speaking, yeah, that was unfortunate. And so I did a little slice right along here and then actually caught the tip of this finger as well. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too deep, but that's probably going to leave a mark. Unpleasant. Sorry for the gore there, folks. There we go. Arky DC asks, Nick, I watched your old review on why I returned the small Shabazz. Do those opinions still stand? Yes, they do. Every time I've handled a small Shabazz since, it still doesn't work that well in my hand. The large Shabazz makes me love the Shabazz. I can agree. I would own a large Shabazz if I had $1 million bazillion to put in the knives. Like if this guy buys my Sleesh Bowie for $99 million, then yes, I'll own a large Shabazz. But the thing is, practically speaking, I don't know. The small one still doesn't call my name, which is a shame. It really should be. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. Yeah, so, honestly, old videos is something I occasionally struggle with. Because I have a lot of videos now. I have a lot of freaking videos. And some of them were very, very old. Well, are very, very old. And some of them represent a time when I didn't know as much about knives. When there were things that I missed. Or, frankly, when I just wasn't very good at reviewing. And so there have been definitely videos that I've actually removed from the channel because there were troubles with them. Because I got something way wrong. Or because, frankly, thinking about it more carefully, I no longer agree with myself. And so you will occasionally see older videos disappear, and that's the reason. There's no, secret conspiracy. They're just videos I don't see the need to have associated with my name. So that's kind of a thing. Let's see here. What do we got? Holy crap, long username, that's a thing. And my buddy Frank is saying you should check out Graf Zeppelin watches. Yeah, one of these days I'd love to. And saying the Nyala is a great knife for certain situations. Yeah, absolutely. The Nyala is a pretty reliable blade for outdoorsy sorts of things, as well as for, frankly, I can see that being a reasonable knife for a military context. So, yeah, that's a thing. Let's see here. Nathan Fleming, I'm seeing a lot of wire clips on your table. Is there one of your favorites, or is that just a coincidence? So, yeah, wire clip, and wire clip. I like wire clips a lot. I think they're a really nice approach. They're a little less... They don't scream knife necessarily as much to some people, and I think it's just a nice... They work well. Are they my favorite clip? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there are many good clips in the world, but the wire clip is pretty damn good. There you go. What do we got here? Looking for a knife, your budget's $1,000. You want a Norseman, but are they worth the increase in price? Logan, that's a great question. The Grimsmo Norseman is a really nice piece. Here, I'll slide it back into position here. The Grimsmo Norseman here is a really nice knife. They went very, very expensive. The original one I had was 540 some odd bucks, and then they went up to 900. That was a big thing. I got a whole video on price increases where I talk about that. The secondary prices on the Norseman seem to be starting to ease back down a little bit. You can now get a Norseman pretty regularly at a price that's actually quite fair. If you really want one, I don't think it's out of line to pay the higher price, but there are many, many good knives that can be had with Norseman-style quality. For instance, the Holt Spectre, the Koenig Arius, etc., that do not have a Norseman-style price tag. So that's something you might want to consider as you're moving along with things. What else do I want to put on the table here? Here, I'll throw a watch in the mix. This little guy is a very interesting piece by Seiko. Very nice knife. It's a very nice knife, this watch here. A little expensive, but pretty nice. So, yeah, there you go. Throw that guy on there. What else do we got here? Pardon me. Sean by Dawn asks, my most beloved knife and my most disliked. The ultimate gem and ultimate junk. That's a really good question, Sean. Let me think about this for a second. My most beloved and my most hated knife. Oh, that's easy. My most beloved knife and my most hated knife is the Z Hunter. 100%. Both of those categories, that's it. And a bunch of people are saying it could only be the Z Hunter. Yeah, it really only could. This knife has such a fond place in my heart after all the craziness it has wrought in my life. Yet at the same time, it is also so awful. Yeah, that's a thing. So I think my most beloved and most hated knife, it's got to be that guy. Cody IL asks, how do you get a strip screw out of a knife? Honestly, I would take it to I would bring it back to the manufacturer, send it in for repair. They'll charge you maybe if they're willing to do it, or take it to a machine shop. They may be able to help you out there, too. Let's see here. What do we got? What will the first philosophy video of the Gem Hunter era be? Practically speaking, the very first philosophy video of the Gem Hunter era was the, oh my God, I'm a fashion blogger video, which remains true, unfortunately. That my mindset had been changed for a little while ago, and in fact, I had let my Patreon patrons know even a couple of weeks, but, well, no, I'd say a week before that video went live, the Gem Hunter video. I let them know in writing because, honestly, Patreon patrons are the people who, you know, have the biggest stake in my channel. They are actively giving me money to continue doing what I'm doing, and I knew that for some of them, that was going to be a deal breaker. That some of them wanted the same level of output that I've had historically, and that if I wasn't going to be filming as much, maybe they wouldn't be as interested in supporting as much, and I get that. That's totally okay. And so I let them know before I let anybody else know, just out of respect, and frankly, you know, it's something that happens occasionally. Patrons get previews. So yeah, that's that was the first one of that era, even though it hadn't been formally announced yet. Let's see here. This is a pretty long username. Says, could we have more Nick and Pete collab videos? Those are the real gems. He's talking about, I assume, Pete over of Cedric Ada Gear and Outdoors. Yes. Pete and I talk regularly. He is a gem, and there is more on the plate for damn sure. Let's see here. What are some, Aki DC asks, what are some overlooked parts of your everyday carry gear? That's a great question. A couple of things that come to mind that I've kind of done some videos on. I mean, wallets I talk about on occasion, but they are really important. A good wallet is a good thing. Although, given you can get away without a wallet, if you got a rubber band or something like that, but still, that's nice. Honestly, these days, more and more, electronic items have become an important part of everyday carry. I mean, most everybody's carrying a phone. Most everybody's carrying some variety. Well, okay, not most everybody. Many people are carrying things like a laptop or a tablet or something like that. And so the ways that you deliver power to those items, whether that be charging cables or chargers themselves, that's important. Those are useful items. Those are important things that you have to deal with. And so it's very important to think about the chargers that you're carrying, whether you want to do like a power bank, things like that. And very often a bad charger can mean a major slowdown. And so I think a lot of people think about the electronics in their lives. They think about the phone, those kinds of things, but they don't think about the other important elements of your carry, that is how you maintain those. And so that's an important thing. So yeah, there you go. What do we got here? Okay, Arc EDC says, you're speaking my love language. Oh, going to school to be an ET. I didn't know you could be an extraterrestrial in school, but hey, it's a good idea. Let's see here. What do we got? AirPods. Yeah, AirPods are a really nice part of the EDC. He's talking about the Apple AirPods. Honestly, I haven't done a review of these yet, but they're really good. These little guys are Bluetooth headphones. Uh-oh. Now my, God, don't stop YouTube. All of my devices are now starting up. Oh, yeah. That might have caused a little bit of an issue when I opened this up because it started talking to my phone and wanted me to, yeah, but either way, these are really good. They sound surprisingly good for for being tiny Bluetooth headphones. You look like a douchebag wearing them, but I look like a douchebag anyway, so it works out. I'll do a review of those one of these days, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see here. What was I carrying today, Nick? Can you give us the whole rundown? Honestly, today I haven't left the house yet. This morning I did some filming. I filmed the GEC number 43, and I filmed the Citizen ProMaster Tough. Yeah, I know. I'm doing one video a week. Thing is, I got some stuff that I still need to wrap up, and I had a little extra time this weekend. So, but I haven't left the house yet today, and so my EDC right now is a pair of freaking gym shorts and a shirt and whatnot. So, yeah, no EDC yet. But when I leave the house, what will I carry today? Well, let me walk you through my everyday carry choosing process. You know, Spidey Chef's in hand. It's a really nice choice. This is a knife I've fallen in love with a lot more often, or a lot more thoroughly of late, just because it's so damn nice. And it's available, and LC200N's a great steal, so what the hell? It'll probably be the LC200N, oh, actually, well, maybe, or it'll be, as I throw across the room, knives. It could also be this little buck guy I was showing off earlier, if I wanted to go buck wild. But nevertheless, the Spidey Chef's a pretty good option there. In terms of pens, probably going to be this guy, the Brass Machine Era Classic. My wallet, I actually just got a brand new wallet in from a guy named K&H Leather. Actually, this guy's probably worth a shout out at this point. As a prominent fashion blogger, I have one of the things that a person wears on a regular basis is a belt, and I have recently purchased a new belt from K&H Leather here. See, it's got a little bit of wear from, you know, life and whatnot, but it's actually a really nice little piece. See, right there, K&H. It's been really, really nice for me. It's pricey, absolutely 100%, but it's supporting a small maker, and that's always great. And so he just sent me a wallet prototype. I'm not going to show off the prototype yet because, well, I don't know. But either way, that's what I'm going to do wallet-wise. Then, of course, keys, lactase tablets, because I am I am lactose intolerant. I try to be a tolerant human being, but lactose just gets my freaking gut, I guess. There you go. It's not that I hate its guts, that it hates my guts. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be a thing. And what else have I carrying? AirPods. Phone, iPhone. Oh, by the way, new iPhone. I'm a douchebag, so I got the new iPhone XS, mostly because I use the camera on my phone all the damn time. And actually, practically speaking, although you probably can't tell from a live stream, the camera is better. You actually filming this, it provides a better image out of the back camera. It's not a big improvement, but it's solid. So, anyways, that'll be my phone, and there we go. Let's see here. Do you carry field notes or something similar? Asks Tooby McTubington. Nice. No, I don't. I tried at one point in time to carry a very small pocket notebook. The thing is, it didn't work for me because so much of my life is digital. My to-do list is digital. My everything is digital. And when it's digital, it's synced among all of my devices. I can never lose it, etc. And so having a little paper notebook was quaint, I guess, but it just didn't work out for me. It wasn't what I wanted my life to look like. And so as a result, I didn't end up carrying that in the long term. So, yeah, it just didn't work out. Pardon me. What do we got here? Since you're making fewer videos now, are you going to continue with the horrible knife reviews? Terrible Knives Live will return, absolutely 100%. Because honestly, there is a joy to looking at the worst of the worst, and that is still a way to calibrate things. That's not like a review in the classical sense. That's just something I do for grins. So don't worry, that will be back. Let's see here. What do we got here? Am I into PC parts and building computers, or am I a wall garden Apple type? Oh, ruination. That's a very biased question. Okay, I have built several PCs in my life, and may well be building one again here soon for work. I very much enjoy making computers. Mind you, screw Windows so very, very much. I cannot take Windows operating system. If I'm going to build a computer, it's going to be Linux. It's probably... lately, Ubuntu's good, but Arch or Gentoo, if I hate myself. I have hated myself in the past. But anyways, so I do love building computers. That said, in terms of actual commodity hardware that I can buy for a laptop, Apple is making the best hardware right now. Maybe the Dell XPS 13-inch with the Linux, but the thing is, there are not many great Linux laptops out there, and Windows is not an option. And so, yeah, unfortunately, I am using Apple, but I dislike Apple more and more every day. I mean, I did the phone because, again, I think it's the best option right now, but somebody needs to disrupt the crap out of them. So, yeah, absolutely 100%. I love building computers, and I am a Linux and Unix fan. You can tear my command line from my cold, dead hands, but at the moment, Apple's making the best Unix kind of computers. So, there you go. Yeah, what do we got here? But for workstations, absolutely don't buy a Mac Pro. That's a silly way to go through life. What do we got here? Do I like golf? Tiger Woods is killing it right now. I am not necessarily a big golf fan. I am a big fan of going to driving ranges when I am pissed off. That I do. But otherwise, no, I'm not really, golf looks like a fun sport, but I'm not any freaking good at it. Honestly, I'm not much of an athlete. And, yeah, so it's not really my sport. But I do, obviously, yeah, so I'm not a big golf follower, but I absolutely driving ranges as well as softball batting cages in general. Like if I am really, really, really pissed off, you will find me at a batting cage or a driving range because it's just a really productive way to just say, "Okay, ball, you get the hell away from me." Bam, there you go. What do we got here? A bunch of people commiserating about having to use Windows. That's a thing. And Frank, the problem, Frank says, there are a lot of good Linux computers out there running circles around Apple and Microsoft. Yes, for some values of those things. Part of the problem, though, is that, there are some pieces of software that don't run on Linux. That's a big problem. Mostly, unfortunately, in the proprietary world. Mostly, I occasionally have to deal with freaking MATLAB, and not all of MATLAB's toolboxes run in Linux. Which, screw you, MATLAB, so much. But also, just in terms of relatively small computers, a lot of the great Linux boxes, laptops, that is, are huge. And syncing is not a great idea. So, yeah. Let's see here. What are we doing? Do I watch reviewers? If yes, other ones. Yeah, I do watch some gear reviewers. So, on the knife front, and I'm going to leave people out, and I'm sorry about that. Let's see here. Who do I subscribe to? Stars23, who's in here already. Birdshot IV, obviously, because they're great. Pete over at Cedric A to Gear and Outdoors is probably the person who I'm most excited about when there's a new video from, just because I love his absurd crap just as much as I love his knife stuff, and he's doing great things. Who else? Zelric, I will watch. Which is a huge freaking channel. Oh my God! Here, I'm gonna piss off Zelric for a second. Here, Zelric. Oh my, no, actually, I'm gonna piss him off more. This is a 3-inch knife. This is gigantic. Oh my God, Zelric, help me, save me from this gigantic knife. Anyways, sorry, he just was complaining about the fact that I find any large knife large. It's a thing. Who else do I watch? There were a bunch of smaller channels, too. I have an EDC channels playlist that check out over there. But yeah, Zell. Oh, Dr. Frunky, of course. I will watch. Slicey Dicey, new guy, metal effort, pretty decent so far. A bunch of folks out there. But yeah, that's a thing. Let's see here. McRuination says LC200N is better than H1. Yes, it is. Case closed. Honestly, yeah, okay, H1 maybe a little better in serrated edges, but I've never had it serrated. Honestly, now that LC200N exists, I see no reason for H1 to persist, but that's my own bias. That's my own opinion. Whatever. Let's see here. What do we got? How do I convince myself? Oh, Kevin Cleary, of course, and I listen to Knife Nuts podcast. By the way, if you haven't, Knife Nuts podcast is pretty solid. Also check out Gear Geeks Live, which is me and everyday commentary, Tony from over there. I'm just nerding out about knives once every couple of weeks. So there you go. Rudolph 6 asks a really good question. How do I convince myself to buy a nice knife, nice pen, nice sharpening system, and nice watch while being a broke student? Don't. Rudolph 6. Honestly, don't. This is a big question and a common question I get. Like, Nick, there's all this really nice gear out there, but I can't afford it because I'm doing X, Y, or Z. How do I afford it? How do I save up? Honestly, if you're a student, if you're somebody, frankly, if you're just struggling to get by as it is, you don't need to pay a lot of money to get great gear. So right here, this right here is the Pocket Jotter. This is a very, very good pen. This is a pen that anybody should be proud to have as a part of their everyday carry, and it's like 12 bucks with the gel cartridge. Right here we have, damn it, I need to pull it out of there. Hold on. Let me rearrange things. Right here we have the Ontario Rat number 2. This is a pen. This is a great pen right here, guys. Great pen. This is a knife that is 35 bucks and is absolutely incredible in the D2 steel. Just incredible piece. In terms of watches, you have actually this guy. Why not? I've got this one right here. This is a Casio G-Shock. Absolutely a beautiful, by the way, you can see my bird from Birdshot IV. Absolutely a beautiful choice of the Casio F91W, the F108. You got all kinds of great options there. What was the other thing he mentioned there? A nice sharpening system. Honestly, there are lots of good options out there. Your Landskis, even just a ceramic freaking rod. I've been using the Spyderco Golden Stone lately, which is actually quite nice. This has grown on me. This has been taking me forever to review, but it's quite good. And so that's nice. And then what else? Sharpening system, watch, yeah, it's a whole thing. So yeah, you don't need necessarily to do a fancy set of gear. You can get a really incredible EDC setup over the course of a year or so for, you know, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, something like that. And that's really where you should keep it as a student. Because honestly, if you are a student and you are, you know, using student loan money, which is going to kick your ass, I don't know if you're using loans, which is just going to kick your ass 10 years down the road to buy fancy everyday carry gear, it's a bad idea. I wish I'd been a little bit more frugal as a college student, just because it didn't hurt me too bad, but yeah, I could have been a little better off. So thanks, Adam. So that's a good question, but absolutely, yeah, let's go there. Well, there, got that. Don't go into debt while being a student. NWDMG, that's a good piece of advice, but the problem is that right now, at least in contemporary American culture, there is this really strong motivation for a lot of people to go into a place of secondary education, to go to a university, go to a college. And a lot of people are willing to pay a lot of money to that because employers are increasingly requiring bachelor's degrees for something that has no freaking need of a bachelor's degree. It's just become like a way to filter the applicant pool further. That's really an ugly thing, honestly, in my estimation. I think college is a great idea. Lots of people should feel free to go to college, and I think college should be affordable, 100%. But to be, and honestly, I think more importantly, oh God, I'm going off the rails here, but one of the biggest things that America needs right now are really good community college systems and trade schools and apprenticeship systems. Not everybody needs to go to a university. Speaking as somebody with a goddamn PhD, it's true. For many jobs in the world, you can get better training by actually working in this job, by doing an apprenticeship, by going to a trade school, that kind of thing. And although there's a lot to learn, and education is always a wonderful thing, and if you are able to go ahead and do a university education at low cost, then great, do it, have fun. But honestly, we should be praising people who are willing to say, you know what, I really love fixing cars, so I am going to go to a trade school and learn more about that. I am going to become a really great car technician, rather than somebody saying, well, I really love fixing cars, but they say I should go to university, and then they leave with 30,000 bucks in debt, and then they walk out of there and they still go to a trade school to learn to fix cars. You know, for many people, university is a great idea, and I want to encourage you, if you believe that that's something you want to do it. Aim high, push hard in high school, push hard. And very often you can get good scholarships. You can get really good deals on things, especially if you go to a state school or you go to a freaking community college and transfer in. Absolutely, a university is a great thing, but you don't necessarily need to go there, and you should never, ever, ever, ever be a dick to somebody who didn't go that route. There is no reason to be a snob because you got a BA and somebody else went to a trade school to learn something that's probably going to pay him more money in the long run. There is no reason to be a dick because somebody else decided, you know what, I'm going to apprentice. I'm going to become an electrician, a plumber, you know, something like that. A pipe fitter, a pipe insulator for that matter. There is no reason to ever be a dick to anybody because you went a different route in your education than they did. And it really bothers me when people in America, or frankly anywhere in the world, pretend that those are the only things that university education is the only kind of education that matters, and university-style jobs are the only ones that are really important. So, holy crap, did I just go off the rails. But this is a really important thing. Seriously, if you're out there and you're thinking about university, do it. It's great. But also, think about other approaches. Do what makes you happy, and ideally, what'll get you paid, because unfortunately getting you paid is going to make you happy. But yeah, there you go. That's beside the point. Mr. Manatee says, don't be a dick unless your name is Dick. Yes, indeed, that's true. So yeah, that's a thing. What am I saying here? Sorry, had to drink some water here. Nick unhinged. Nick is never particularly hinged. That's for damn sure. Joker is asking me for a MATLAB review. It sucks. All right, done. Let's see here. Gracie views. Thanks, Nick. Now I'll drop out of school. No! No, that's not what I meant, Gracie. No. But I know that you're just joking with me, but that's not where I went to go there. Let's see here. Nick's off the rails. Hold on, boys. Oh, and gals. Hold on, everybody. It's going nuts. Tomas Horvath asks, opinions on stabilized wood handles. Wood is great. I freaking love wood. Both in terms of trees, because, you know, wood is cool. Trees make, you know, oxygen. That's cool. But also because wood is a really nice material for a knife handle because it makes people less scared. Let me pull out some... Come on, guys. Where are you? Here we go. Right here, Spyderco Dragonfly, pack of wood scales, Spyderco Delica, pack of wood scales. For some reason, it is a universal truth, and I've said this many times, that this knife is less scary than this knife. That's ridiculous, it's irrational, but it's a thing. So, yeah, that's absolutely something to consider, and so I really do think that wood scales are a great thing, and frankly, it's one of the things that traditional knives have done well, is using these old-school materials to great effect. And so I'd like to see more in the way of wood out there in the knife world. And I just threw the Mickey Mouse watch at myself as I pulled it out of the drawer. That's nice. Alrighty. Am I rocking the Menandi with or without the pouch? I've been rocking the Menandi, this little guy, which was given to me by my wonderful freaking viewers. I've been rocking this guy on the pocket clip, which has been great. Stasa23 asked, do you still have the Torrent? Can't get his out of the pocket. Yep, indeed. And if you're having trouble getting it out of the pocket, just need to loosen the clip. I'm just kidding. Dad joke? No? Never going to be a dad, but alas, I'm going to have the dad jokes. Pretty bad. Is there a leather scale? Asked Tong He. Kind of. As I recall, Kaba, whatever the hell they're called, has some of their old models actually had scales that were built up by taking discs of leather and stacking them, and then sanding it down. So I think that would count. But other than that, I haven't seen leather scales. I've seen, like, stingray inlays in, like, Rockstead stuff, but that's a thing. Let's see here. New buskers on the way. When's the Spyderco Smart coming out? A bunch of people ask me these kinds of questions, and I'm not, banging on you there at the moment, but I actually have very, very few industry connections. That's the funny thing, is like, practically speaking, like, yeah, Spyderco will send me some stuff sometimes. Do I have anything they sent me? No, because I always sell it for charity, that's why. But anyways, Spyderco will send me stuff on occasion, but here's a Spyderco for, and another one, why not? But I have no idea when these things are actually going to be released. Generally, if I hear anything from them, it's along the lines of, hey, we just shipped you a Brower, which, by the way, they did. And I'm looking forward to that. Oh, man, am I looking forward to the Brower. So, yeah, I don't know when that's coming out. I don't know a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, I don't know a whole lot more than I do know, just about the world in general. So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. A bunch of people are asking me to weigh in on the whole knife rights. So Knife Rights is is an organization that's been working very hard to repeal things like automatic blade laws and carry laws. At some level, they're doing good work for the knife community, and I have, they've made some major victories, like in Michigan and otherwise. Apparently, they recently did an interview where they kind of went, where Doug Ritter, the chair of it, went all the way in, by the way, of the Ritter Griptilian, that Doug Ritter, went all in on the whole Second Amendment approach to knife deregulation. That's an interesting policy for him to take. I think, let's put it this way, that's going to make it a little bit harder for those of us who are talking about knives as tools, as functional kind of things. It's basically, he's chaining his wagon to the Second Amendment world, and that's an interesting bet for him to make in the current culture. We'll see how it works out, but I'm not going to go too deep into it because that gets into politics very quickly. But that's a whole thing. I think a number of people are having many opinions about that, of which I have several, and I'm not going to share them. So there you go, back at the ranch here. Where is the best place to buy a new knife, Quincy Tavernia? The best place to buy a new knife is at your local knife shop. I mean this seriously. I mean, at some level, we need to support every local knife shop that's out there because there aren't many of them left. And especially if they're selling good knives at good prices. They're not doing like full MSRP and shit and stuff. Then that's someplace that deserves your love and your support. Here, let's put something beautiful on the table. Oh, yeah. So the best place to buy a knife is at your local shop. If you don't have a local shop anymore, then the best place to buy a knife is at a dedicated online knife retailer. There are many good ones out there. Some of the ones I've bought from, honestly, I bought from most of them, but I bought from Knife Center, Blade HQ, GP Knives, Knives Ship Free, Hellacious Blades, that's a smaller shop, Carmel Cutlery, Indiana Knives over in Bloomington, Indiana. Hellacious Blades is in York, South Carolina. Carmel Cutlery's in Carmel by the Sea, California. Who else have I worked with? I've bought from Collector Knives, New Graham Knives at one point. USA Made Blade is an online retailer, but they've also got an actual place they live. Going Gear. There were a bunch of really great online retailers dedicated to knives. The worst places to buy knives from, in my estimation, are on Amazon, because A, you don't know if you're going to get a real knife, and B, you're not supporting an actual person who's a part of the knife community, and from eBay. Because on eBay, they have a huge counterfeiting problem. There are good retailers on eBay, but they're harder to find, and you need to be very careful. So yeah, that's a thing. Desert Review asks Joker. I am right near the Mojave Desert. I haven't been up there yet, but I'm planning to, and you'll probably get a review when it happens. Let's see here. Am I religious? Firebird, I have a 10-foot pole at work that I use. It's a big, long wooden pole that I use to calibrate different machines, things like that, and hold microphones on occasion. I am not going to touch that question with that. So, great question, but thank you. Let's see here. What do we got? Small stores can sell things through Amazon. This is true, and if you get it directly from the maker, you're probably going to be okay, but still, just be careful. I would support a real online retailer. There you go. Hold on just a second. I got somebody at a band real quick. You are out of here. Alrighty, so as a San Diegan now, I should review the California burrito. Unfortunately, I am a vegetarian, and that makes some of the food reviews that I'm asked to do on a regular basis a little bit more difficult. I don't know if a California burrito includes meat. Probably does, but that might make it a little bit difficult. So there you go. What are we doing here? Any recommendations for a knife that can double as a pry tool? Honestly, no. I will not recommend you a knife that doubles as a pry tool. What I can, however, recommend you is a knife. And the pry tool. This is the Rat Bastard Enigma Pocket Probe, but there are many other good pry tools out there. And then tell you to carry them both, because they're not the same thing. So there you go. What do we got here? Is there a knife shop around Ann Arbor, Michigan? Unfortunately, there is not. I was previously near the Ann Arbor area, so yeah. Have I had In-N-Out yet? No, I have not yet, but I do plan to one of these days. If I checked out the gas lamp district in San Diego, I have. It looks very gas lampy, although there weren't gas lamps around, which kind of was like, dude, what the hell? Am I going surfing after this? I am not a brilliant swimmer. I can swim, but not well, so no, not a surfer. Let's see here. What do we got? I have no idea what these people are talking about, so that's fine. What is a good super budget knife that is compact and reliable? I've showed it off like 10 times here. Ontario Rat number 2 in D2 steel. Absolutely best. Scotland review. Oh, the Scotland review still needs to happen. I'm on it, but give me some time on that one. Tyrion is asking about the tactical toothbrush. Tyrion, that's a great question. Somebody recently mentioned the idea of a tactical toothbrush to me, and my good buddy Chris made it happen, and I am saving this little joy for a rainy day. There may come a time in my life where I'm sitting there being like, oh my God, I'm having a rough one. I need something. So on that day, when I have a terrible day, I am going to go live and I'm going to review a tactical toothbrush. But for the moment, though, I'm keeping that one in reserve. That's like my strategic crappy knife reserve. It's going to be great when it happens, but yeah. Yeah, what else we got here? Let's see here. A bunch of people are trying to tell me people are trolls. Oh, yeah, that guy is a troll. Hold on. Adios. Showed up to a tactical toothbrush and the Z Hunter. It just doesn't get much better from this, seriously. Let's see here. What is something great and unrelated? Unrelated. What's something great and unrelated? You know those those candies that like it's a peanut, but it's got like the red candy around the outside with little bumps on it. I think they're called like French roasted peanuts or burnt peanuts. Those are great. And they're unrelated to anything we're talking about. However, he actually asked me what is great and underrated, and that's a slightly different thing. What is great and underrated? Great and underrated. That's a really hard question to ask. But, oh man, what is really great and really underrated? I mean, I'm looking around here, like the Leatherman Wave. A lot of people give this is a multi-tool here. A lot of people like it, certainly, but not a lot of people think about multi-tools. They don't think about them as being a key part of their everyday carry experience, but they really can be. And this is such a good one that it's just like, I have trouble, and it's not that it's underrated. Like, people aren't saying, oh, it's terrible, it's awful. It's just like not that many people think about it, but this is just so damn good. Yeah, that's going to be a thing. Also, Michigan housing prices. As I am looking around at the potential for buying a house in San Diego, which, holy hell, how do people live here? Michigan housing prices is so underrated. Oh my God, yeah. So let's see here. Bunch of people are telling me random things. Have I tried the Neon Mark II yet? No. Is that the new Shiro Neon, or is that something different? Let me know. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, the Bay Area is way worse. I'll give you that. But do not get into the Bay Area. Do not get into San Diego, for that matter. We don't need more people looking to buy houses here. Am I getting a new Gen 6 Hindera XM18? Yes, 100% I am. I am actually, been talking with my witty over at USA Made Blade. It's, check them out. They're a nice company. But they have been, he's apparently heading over to Hindera recently or over the weekend here, and he's going to pick me one up, and then I'm going to buy it off him. So, yeah, check that out. I think he's going to be getting a bunch of new Hinderas here soon. Anyways, so check them out. Let's see here. What about watches? Do we get into those? No! Do not get into watches. Let's see here. Best value for money watches on the market. That would be the Casio F91W. $9, does everything you need. Ask the Nick at Coachella. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not too far from Coachella, which apparently is where a bunch of freaking hipsters go to listen to music and get trashed. That's my understanding of it, roughly. They had Tupac performing holographically, which is kind of cool some time back. But, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be going to Coachella this year, or any year for that matter. I'm not anywhere near hip enough for that. Let's see here. Adam Johnson, can you give me 20 bucks for my whole knife collection? You certainly could, but I wouldn't accept your offer. So, yeah, that'd be a thing. Gracie, you got into watches, damn it? No, do not. Man. Let's see here. I should go holographic. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like, show up on stage and all you just see are big hands dancing to music and freaking... I don't freaking know what kind of music they do there. Tupac was there, so maybe rap and probably rock and stuff. Jason Mraz or something. It's just a, yeah. Who's my favorite electronic artist? Do I like Autica? Roteka? I don't even freaking know how to pronounce their name. I know them, though. Favorite electronic artist is really tough. Maybe Vector Lovers. I have a whole video of my favorite music. It's a playlist, that is. That's over on the side there that has one song from a lot of my favorite artists. So check that out. Boards of Canada is really great. Yeah, just check out that playlist. You'll find a lot of joy. Let's see here. What are we doing here? All right. Actually, guys, it is 65 minutes into this. My larynx is about to fall out and land on the table flat. And then, you know, just sit there and probably ooze. I don't know what larynxes do. Larynges. Whatever. Hope this has been interesting to you, though. The rude sandstorm. Yes, that one's it right there. Hope this has been interesting to you. Thank you all for joining me, and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody. Come on. Hey.